So first question, do you know Wicked?
Ooh, ah! You know what's so funny about that is that I think I've only seen Wicked twice. And I think because when I first found out about Wicked, it was because I was like 13 and everyone was sharing the CD of it and like
Hmm.
telling the story of it. But then I finally saw it and was like, oh, okay. But I'm more obsessed with the music than I am with the show.
It's amazing. The show is really great too. I
The
mean,
show is very good.
it's so visual and I mean it really puts you into that world.
Well,
So
okay, the real show is extremely visual, but see now
mm.
I saw the touring cast, which is like it's like a little bit of like a knockoff of the real show.
It's like off Broadway.
Yeah.
It's like inside the mall.
Yeah, and I was like, wait, why is her broom from the dollar store? Like, what is happening here?
I have a better broom at home.
I was like, I have a better Rubbermaid at home.
All right. So I know that for drag queens and performers, the pandemic has been especially difficult because it's gig culture, right? Have you been able to restore some type of normalcy into your work?
Well, no. I was lucky that when all of this went down, I had already like planned my with Hip Dot that was coming out. So, and I had already had a podcast. So I was like kind of set to be doing digital stuff from home from the
Hmm.
get-go. And then of course I had to buy a green screen and all that stuff for the digital drag shows. So I think I'm very lucky that I had other sources of income before this, but like yeah, gigging culture, I miss it. I miss being able to do shows. I miss traveling like every other weekend and seeing
Hmm.
different cities.
Yeah.
It's definitely a change. Like I'm spending so much time at home. I don't know. To be honest, I'm like ready for shit to be open. I'm tired of like looking and seeing all of these queens in Brooklyn dancing and performing and hanging out with their friends and not wearing masks and like acting like everything's fine. Because unfortunately, as jealous of that as I am, I know that that is not helping the situation.
Exactly.
And so there's like a weird social responsibility to stay in and not gig because if you do, people like the two queens that were booked at that Atlanta Pride show, and they were told that it was going to be completely COVID safe and everything, and they get there and they perform, and it's a room full of 2,000 unmasked people dancing on each other.
Hmm.
Like, just don't put yourself in that situation.
Yeah, it is for sure. And hopefully we'll be able to get back to it. Some kind of, I mean,
Something, but I was thinking about it. I was like, do I want to still touch dirty dollars when this is over? Like,
yeah, just, carry around your Venmo or your Cash App and just have people scan it and tip you that way.
yeah.
Write you a check. Yeah. So if you weren't doing drag in general, what do you think you would be doing? Like in life?
Well, in life, I don't know. I mean, it's weird. I go through phases of liking things and not liking stuff. What I will say is, before I was doing drag, I was a comedy writer for television or at Netflix, and I also was a nanny. So I did those two things at once. So I
Nanny.
think, I mean, kids will always need someone to take care of them, and there's never not children. So I feel like I'm still certified to be a nanny. I could go back to do that. And basically, working with drag queens is like working with overgrown children. So
Mhm.
I think I can handle it. But I don't know. I mean, if stuff still keeps going south, I know how to sew. I could make costumes for queens that do want to work. You always got to have options.
Yeah, that's true. That's good. You need to be multifaceted.
Yes.
You
I
can't
feel
just be
bad for the queens that are like Fashion Nova girls who ain't got nothing going on.
because they're over there in Florida doing gigs.
They're doing high kicks and pouring water on themselves and then like licking people's faces. They're begging for it.
Yeah. So how have you been getting through the pandemic? Like the whole madness of everything.
Oh, well, it's very strange. All of my friends left. So there was a time where I was like of course, having people come over to my house and we were socially distanced and we were getting tested all the time. But I took up roller skating, which has been apparently it blew up. But I would like to say I started the craze because right when the pandemic started happening, I was like, I gotta have a hobby. And I bought roller skates, and now you cannot buy them anywhere. But me and my friends, Nicole Byron, Sashir Zameda, and a couple of other fun comedians, Mono Agapian and Betsy Sodaro, all started a little gang called Skate Gang. And every Tuesday we would go roller skate. And so that's how I've been physically active. Um, I've been staying busy by like making digital drag in my drag room, which we're looking at, which is a disaster right now. Um, and I've really been focusing on like getting more of my life together, like really taking this opportunity to be like, this is now I have the time where I'm not traveling all the time to organize my life, to put stuff where it goes, to look at what the future has, and focus more on like projects that I enjoy doing, stuff that's for me and not being forced to do a Disney number by somebody.
You've been finding Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior.
Yes, honey, I'm going to church, baby.
And so, changing gears a little bit, have you survived the anxiety that was this damn election?
Well, you know, I got very into the news because I think it's just so funny that he's refusing to say that Biden won, and like the amount of I like watching Fox News because I like watching how crazy it is. But I will say, I mean, there was like a 3-day period where my anxiety was extremely high. And then when Biden won, like people in LA were dancing in the street. I live on Los Feliz. So I just like walked out and there was people holding up signs and honking. And it was just, for a minute, it felt crazy that we were all around each other and happy for once. And it was a very different feeling. I feel like my anxiety has definitely lifted. And I
Yes, it
feel like
was.
it really brought people together, especially in a time when no one's supposed to be together. Like we were all dancing on the streets. But also, I remember when I was going to the Black Lives Matter protests in downtown LA, and that was also something that I felt a great sense of community in. But it was also dangerous. So me and my friend Pinche Queen and Cabrina Barely would pack lunches for people and like got food and stuff, and we're handing out bags of food. So I don't know. I feel like the only way I can deal with my anxiety is by working and helping people.
Yeah, I know you were really investigating that LA Pride
Oh, baby. And now
scandal.
guess what happened to LA Pride? They will not be hosting LA Pride this year because the city of West Hollywood said, no, ma'am.
Yeah.
That was, and I mean, I still get so heated about it because I emailed them, I called them, they were gaslighting me on the phone. Like, it was a bunch of white people, and like some of them are gay. Well, they're all gay, but some of them are white gays that are Trump supporters who were in charge of the Pride Fest. So I had, and like very bootlickery. There was one guy on there who deleted all his comments, but he was like commenting on all the posts where I was saying like, this isn't right, you guys are lying, saying like just pro cop, all this bullshit. And I was like,
Yeah.
how are you in charge of Pride? How are you people scamming people out of money? I mean, I went so deep. I was looking at their tax forms. I had a lawyer look into it. Like, they weren't scamming, but they were kind of scamming, allegedly. Let's say that. So I'm glad that they're gone. Also, if you live in LA and you follow all Black Lives Matter, which is like their little black offshoot, don't, because that is a scam. And they haven't done anything. They didn't put together a march. LA Pride tried to do a Black Lives Matter march without speaking to anybody at Black Lives Matter or having anybody Black on their panel. So it was like, it was a very weird thing where white gays just wanted to march and have a party. They fucking like, I mean, I will say during this time period, I've like really focused on what I like and what I enjoy, because I'm not being seen by a ton of people now. So when I like put on like I ordered a pair of fucking, oh my God, leopard print Crocs, because I was like, I need shoes. What do I want? Leopard print Crocs. And then I was like walking down the street and my neighbor was looking at me like I was crazy because I'm in leopard print Crocs, like a matching tie-dye. And I was like, oh, people think I'm the crazy one. You gotta love yourself.
So, being that you have a following and that you are in the public eye, do you feel like an obligation to be political or to be like a role model?
Yes, I do feel that I have an obligation to my followers, be- to like get that message out. I didn't realize how many people didn't understand what racial profiling was.
Mhm.
And I have a weird perspective on that because I was raised by white people. Like my both of my parents are white, and I was raised in the deep South Texas. So, well, Houston, but anyway, it was not great. But I dealt with a lot of racism, and we as a family learned about it together. Like we learned what microaggressions, we learned all of that stuff together. They didn't know what the words for it were at the time. They do now, and they feel really bad for a lot of it, but it wasn't their fault.
Mhm.
So I feel like I have the perspective to tell white people like this is real.
Yes.
You have prejudices whether you believe it or not. Like especially based on where you're grown and what your parents' beliefs are, like you may hate people for no reason and it's not your fault and we're not mad at you. I'm just letting you know that you need to be aware of what you're doing and saying. And especially in drag, there's such a disconnect where, like, basically, in my mind, a white queen and a black queen could wear the exact same outfits, do the exact same number. They could
Mhm.
look almost identical makeup style wise. And most people will say the white queen did it better because they have a biased opinion of white being better. And I think that's kind of what went down in Chicago is that there's like a lot of very extremely talented and beautiful black queens who, or queens of color in general. I'm just saying black because that's where
Yeah.
my point of view. Um, it's just strange to me that because of those biases, people get overlooked. So I wanted to like let people know that this is real, racism is real, and it was also kind of a weird time for me to be doing it because I was trying to promote my makeup, but I was also like marching, and so I was like, support me, I'm black, but also support every black person. Um, it was just interesting, but I didn't get any negative feedback. I didn't lose followers. If anything, I gained a bunch of followers. So that goes to show that people were listening and wanted to hear more about what I had to say.
True. Has anybody like come at you online about it?
Um, no, I there's been comments made that like I shouldn't be talking about race because I was raised by white people, but um they didn't live my life or have my
Exactly.
experience, so they
Hmm.
don't know like what I had to go through. But
Yeah.
other than that, no. For the most part, it's been very positive.
Oh, that's great. That's good to hear. So how you mentioned your makeup. How is your
Mm,
Diamond Diva palette doing?
she's
And
doing very well.
and do you have any plans to do any other makeup products or
We do. We are working on. There was when it originally was going to come out, it was going to be a full box set, and then we were like, let's spread it out throughout the year. So the makeup went very well. We sold out like twice.
nice?
It was really I wasn't expecting that, especially during the middle of a pandemic when no one has money. But make people love makeup, and I sent it to so many drag race girls and like actors and stuff, and everyone was promoting it. So I think that very much helped. And yeah, we have more products coming. And I'm honestly, I did not ever see myself selling makeup because I myself am so bad at it, or yeah, I'm not the best. But I don't know. It's just been fun. It's been so fun to like share what I love with other people.
Great. And the names of your shades are like so very much you. How did you come up with those names?
It actually took me a long time to come up with those names. We sat down and were like, they were like, well, you don't have to come up with them today in the office. And I was like, okay. And they had like given me an example of like names that are like top sellers, things that, like words and stuff that help to sell. And then I looked at it and I was like, well, we're not going to do that. And then I sat down with my friend Pinche Queen and we got high because I was very stressed about it. And we wrote down just like every funny phrase that we could think of, every drag phrase, everything that we love. And then we were like, okay, which one of these sounds like this color? Which one of these is this? So my favorite colors on it are, I don't know, are Tinkle because it's yellow, Whip Crack.mp3 because that's my favorite sound effect. I don't know, and Reba Diva because it's orange and I love Reba. I love a bitch that doesn't have a top lip and yet sells makeup, sells lipstick.
And still draws it on.
Yeah, it's just right here.
All right, so now let's talk about sloppy seconds. How have you
Ooh,
all shifted during the pandemic? I know that you were all recording in person before.
yes. I honestly think that the introduction of Zoom into podcasting has made it so much easier, and well, to get guests that you can't normally get, because we were
True.
always recording, like we had to wait for people to be in LA, or we were doing it over the phone. But like, because of this quarantine and COVID and everything, people are home and bored, and we are getting guests that like we would not have gotten before. We're able to talk to people for like longer. They feel more comfortable because they're not in a studio setting with us. The worst part about it is that Forever Dog just upgraded their studios right before quarantine. So we were getting ready, like we had a big backdrop with our names on it, and we were going to be in drag, and we were going to have, they had a video studio and then like 2 recording studios, and all of it is just like closed right now because no one can use it. But it's also been great because we went from being once a week, now we're twice a week. We have Tuesdays and Fridays. And I'm just having, it's the only thing that's steady for me right now. So I'm just having a wonderful time, and I feel like I'm connecting to a lot more people now. I'm also really excited that Forever Dog and the Mom Network, as you know, Willem and Alaska's network is now our owners, are letting us do a fisting special on November 19th. So if you listen to our podcast, you know I've been obsessed. I'm obsessed with fisting and silicone penises. So one episode we had a silicone penis come in and we like played with it in the studio. And now we're gonna do a live fisting special where we have a very prolific anal performer named Hunger FF, who is very popular on OnlyFans. He is a physical anomaly. He can take an arm like up to your shoulder into his body. He said that one time a doctor did it, and a doctor was like, I don't understand how your body works. Like, he is not normal inside. God gave him a gift, and he's gonna use it. It is gonna be very clinical though, because we're not gonna be doing porn. So it's his little tidbits will be covered, but you will be seeing the arm and the butt. And I've come up with a few games to play with him, like rock, paper, scissors while the fist is inside of him, or like guess how many fingers. You know, just anything I can to make it uncomfortable. Yeah, I'm just very curious about the process of it. I mean, have you ever been fisted or done fisting?
Oh my God, no, I don't think I could ever. Well, you never say never, right?
Yeah.
It's not something that I think I could try, but it's definitely very intriguing how somebody's body could possibly do that. So I totally get the curiosity.
Well, my thing is like, I would do it if someone else had already like had their arm in there and like it was ready for me. You know, like I'm ready to walk on set when they call action. So like I'd like someone to be like action and then just like put my hand in and then take it out and be like, felt it, I'm good.
You'll be like, let me know when you're in, and they're like, I'm done. Oh my God.
Like, no, I got in there, I'm done, I'm finished.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm very excited for that. I'm excited to see where the podcast goes. We're transitioning into starting to do video podcasts, so I'll be in drag more often again, which will feel crazy, I think.
And are you just gonna be like in drag from the chest up?
Waist up, baby. Listen, I made a lot of mistakes on my early digital drag performances where I was like in pads running around. I was like, no one cares. They want to see me from the waist up. That's been great. But now I have a bunch of like half finished costumes because I like make my own costumes. So they're all just for me to sit in front of the camera.
And you can always just come out as Cousinette.
Yeah, just covered in hair. You know, I'm such an idiot. I did a Grindr Halloween party, and they were like, don't you have any Halloween numbers? And I was like, no. And then so I was like talking to them. It was all digital. So I was just like talking on camera to them, and I like did a normal lip sync with like a scream person chasing me around, but just to like a mix of Ariana songs. And then I realized later, I was like, oh, I should have just put on the fucking suit and just been Cousinette. I'm such an idiot. So if you want to go find the special, you need to go to sloppysecondstickets.com, and the tickets are $10, and then you will be put on an email list, and then they will send you the stream link the day of the show.
One day soon, and you'll be there playing playing rock, paper, scissors.
Well, no. Oh my God. Yeah, just like, well, okay. So in order to like join Pornhub to do this stream, we had to make our own accounts. And a lot of the questions were like, what are you into? And I was like, talking a lot, nothing sexual. I like to tell people to clean my house. I like to yell at people. I
Macrame.
love answering emails. And then it was like height, weight, dick size, da 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 da. I was like answering. I was like, I'm over 7 feet tall. I'm a 400-pound beast. I have hooves for feet. I was like, don't anybody think that I'm trying to do porn, please. No one wants to see it.
Yeah, then it'll be headlines, meatballs on Pornhub.
Well, I mean, honestly, I don't think anyone would be surprised with all of these drag queens coming out with their OnlyFans.
That is so true.
Have you seen these?
I haven't subscribed to them, but I understand how for some people it's more lucrative to like start monetizing their exclusive content, and how some other people might have something they want to show. So
Yes. No, I love it. I think like I know that Katya's isn't like a sexy one, but I think it's interesting the ones that are just like, here's my dick. Look at it. And I was like, oh, how lovely.
You're all, is that tinkle?
Is that a little tinkle I see? Bars and clubs all over the country are closing. It's going to be very strange when everything begins to open back up, because these cities that had these bars that were paying to fly me out or paying to fly Rue Girls or anybody out to perform in aren't going to have that money anymore, or are probably closed.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I know West Hollywood has lost several as well. I mean, some of them
are still, I mean, I told someone that the bars here are closed. Some of them are still open, and I do not agree. I don't agree with it.
Yeah. I mean, they're getting by like serving food, right?
Well, there's one where in order to perform, you still have to wear a mask and like a shield, but you have to like, yeah, like you're saying, they have to like hold cups of water. So they're lip syncing with a mask on where you can't see their mouth, and they're walking around with a tray of water, like handing you water, and you're giving them $1. Because
hilarious.
So I mean, again, it seems safe, but also I'm not interested in selling water.
And I mean, is it worth it for you to risk your health for that? To go to that extent, it's just not the same experience. And I'll be ready when it's all done. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
All right. Have a good day and stay safe, okay?
You too. Bye.
Bye.